Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the second part of my 4-vehicle purchase that you guys hopefully saw. If you didn't, the link will be for that video below. So in this video, the goal is to more or less tell you guys and show you hopefully everything that's being done with the 4 cars I purchased, and hopefully we get a few sales in this video, run through a few numbers, more or less just show you guys how everything is going. So let's get started. We're just gonna go straight down the line. So this Ford, kind of going uphill, is a lot weaker in reverse than I thought it would be. And when I was backing up, it gave me a check engine light code, which was, if I remember correctly, P072. It's output shaft speed sensor. And one of the symptoms, the number one symptom when that sensor goes out, is transmission issues. So the fact that the truck moves literally with no issues forward, shifts good through every single gear, just in reverse, and I did get that code, I bought a new sensor. I think it's a standard motor product, the brand. It was like $32 my wholesale price through my distributor. And from my understanding, it is located either like on the side or on top of the transmission. So today's Saturday. Monday, I am taking the truck to my mechanic and he is going to replace that sensor. Hopefully it fixes the issue. If it does, then I mean, this was really a winner, because I paid what, $2,300 for this truck. So that's the update on that one. The Chevy is ready to go. I am what, under five grand into it. As you guys saw in the last video, my detailer was busy. So Monday, this truck is going in to get detailed. Surprisingly, it's actually fairly clean for what it is. So I just listed it as is, took it through the car wash. As you guys can see, that rear tire, it's been a few days. It is not letting any air out. So patched it up well, and it's holding air, so I'm happy about that. No additional expense. So oil on all cars was actually really good. The truck is still showing check oil level when you start it, and I checked the oil level. Everything is perfectly fine within norm. And before I took it through DEQ, I connected my OBD2 scanner to it. All onboard systems were ready to go, but it did have one pending code. The pending code was for oil pressure sensor, which from my understanding is kind of behind the engine, somewhere right here. New sensor has been delivered today. It was a $10 purchase from Amazon, so fairly inexpensive. So I will take care of that, although the truck is listed for sale. Before it's sold, I will take care of it, but hopefully, you know, this truck is going to be sold in this video. If I sell it for my asking price, I'm looking to make $4,000 in profit on this truck. So if that happens, honestly, even 3 grand of pure profit, I'm gonna be very happy. This was a very successful purchase. Next down the line is this Nissan Sentra. Nissan Sentra, when I connected my OBD2 scanner, was not ready for emissions, and it had a few pending codes. Those pending codes I did delete. One of them I remember was, I think, an oxygen sensor. There's no check engine light. The car starts, runs on its own. But there were a few pending codes. So this is what I'm going to take home today. This is what I'm going to drive throughout the weekend until maybe Monday, Tuesday. Hopefully, if there will be a check engine light on, it will come up and I will see what the problem is and then start fixing it. Of course, bumper is on the list to repair this. I think I'm going to sand down as well as I can and then just use touch-up paint, like I said in the previous video. But this is going to be my project more or less, like right away. I mean, I'm taking it home today. Well, there's the video for this one. This one was a grandma purchase. This one, I have looked at the rotors and they are pretty busted. About 5 minutes ago, I got new rotors and new brake pads delivered, so I will get those replaced, especially this side. When you run your fingers through it, pretty rough, and honestly I can't see any brake pad there. And when I first picked it up from the auction, I did hear squeaking from the brakes, so all of that is going to get replaced. I connected my OBD2 scanner to it, it had one pending code and then ABS code. I don't remember what the pending code was. I have it on my phone though. But ABS sensor showed for this side. So in 2 days, new ABS sensor will be here, and then I will replace brake pads, rotors, and the sensor while I'm there. Grill, I'm gonna try a local wrecking yard because it's not super difficult to replace, and even on eBay they're like 50-60 bucks. So as long as the car, you know, is gonna run great mechanically, I will get that fixed or replaced. This, we'll see what we're gonna do about this. I'm thinking open the hood, bend this back out, which I've done on other cars, and then again sand it down and use touch-up paint. And the other issue is here in the back. So when I go hunting for a new grill at local wrecking yards, I will ask them about the trunk piece, and hopefully everything is going to be done, everything's going to be fixed. Hopefully we sell a few cars in this video, but this is I guess the first update. So we're going to pause it here and possibly resume, I don't know, Monday, Tuesday, when I actually progress somewhat with these vehicles, because don't really have anything to work on right now. I mean, I could replace the sensor, but we'll see. So we're gonna pause it and then resume in a few days.
Several days later.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday morning. We are back. So I did take the car. I had a really awkward experience with it. So the day I told you guys I'm taking it home for the weekend, me and my wife stopped by the store and did our shopping. I put the key in. I'm gonna show you guys. It's just this key with no fob. So if the car runs great mechanically, I will get a new key made for it. Anyways, we open the door and the alarm goes off for a good 30-40 seconds. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know what to do. I have no fob thing. So we drive it home. I park it. I turn off the car again. For 40 seconds it started to beep. Thankfully it didn't do that this morning, but man, it is awkward. It's almost like you're stealing a car, but you're not really stealing a car because you own it. But anyways, at home I didn't really do much but pump up the tires, all 4 tires. This one was extra low, like 20 psi, and they need to be at 33. The other 3 were at like 28, 29. The other thing is I started to kind of apply paint just to see how well it turns out, and as you guys can see from here to here, it looks a lot better. Although it doesn't look perfect or, you know, grade A quality, but I think it looks much better. So today I'm gonna try to touch up the rest of it and let it dry, because it looks like there is surprisingly no rain, which there was supposed to be. But this is why I don't trust the weather people, because they have lied to me way too many times when I was in school and they told me there's gonna be snow, and I was like, yes, no school, and then there was no snow. So for many years I don't really trust the weather people. So that's on our list right now. Wife is here. We are taking the Chevy and we are actually dropping it off to get detailed. So I'm gonna run upstairs, grab some keys, yeah, get that taken care of, and then the next thing we have on the list is taking this truck to my mechanic to get that sensor replaced. And then I guess a whole bunch of other stuff. Actually, I have stuff inside the car. Well, let's get the keys. I have so many things in my mind, and you know, everything that I need to get done today, so trying to rush along. And I do have a new oil pressure sensor for this truck. It's just a little bit on a time crunch. So the goal is take it to get detailed. He should be done either later today or tomorrow. And then of course I'll wait for the engine to cool off, and then I'll get that sensor replaced. But taking this thing to get detailed, and look, honestly, it's not even that bad. Almost thinking, do I really want to take it to detail? I mean, it's a truck, and honestly, it's not that terrible. Alrighty, truck is being left. My Uber is here. These adorable passengers. Busy day. So let's get a move on. Actually, before we head out, I'm gonna call my mechanic, see if he is available. Because with that guy, you never know. But let's see if she'll start. Beautiful. Still starts. It looks like I do need some fuel though. So first stop will probably be the gas station. just put 20 bucks into the Ford and it went up a quarter, $20 worth of regular fuel, and it only went up a quarter. Man, what a day to be alive, or time. But we are heading to my mechanic. I just called him. He is ready for this thing, and hopefully he makes it, because I got a, I don't know, 15-mile drive. It didn't give me headaches from the auction, so hopefully it won't give me any headaches now. But if it does, you guys will probably see it first.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
I am pulling into my mechanic shop. Man, this thing does fairly well. I did notice, you know, a few additional things, like possibly needs new rotors and pads, because it kind of jerks a little bit. But for the most part, it's actually pretty good. It seems like maybe some wheels are out of alignment, or it could be kind of like the 8-foot bed bounce type of deal. But all in all, I mean, we went up hills, down hills, in I guess forward. It shifts and runs really, really well. Oh, look at that, made it. 15-mile trip, and here we are. There he goes. We're gonna do a little bit of off-roading, so I'm leaving that, and picked up this thing. Oh, it's actually 4-wheel drive. So the problem with this one, why I had it with him, is once you get up to like 15-20 miles per hour, there's odd vibration from the rear diff area. Let's see if camera will pick it up. There it goes. And then it goes away. And so he looked at it and he said probably need a new drive line, because it's slightly rusted, and then the bushings are gone, so I guess under load for whatever reason between that mileage or mile per hour. It has a stutter, something of that sort. And I'm $1,000 into this thing, plus, you know, I paid him 60 bucks for his time to kind of go through it. But I decided not to fix it because I am very cheap into it. I could take it to an auction, a public auction, and I should be able to get $2,000, maybe a little bit more for this car, because it does run and drive. I put a new battery in it. I don't remember if the oil is fresh, but like, it shifts good, it runs good, more or less everything works, but just that shutter. And in order to fix it, I gotta put, you know, another $1,000 into it or so. And honestly, I didn't want to. So running a quick errand, we're going back to the lot, and we're continuing with the other vehicles.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
I am back at the lot. I was going to have some, well, I did have lunch, and then I was going to replace the rotors and pads on the Dodge Caliber, and I realized that I grabbed my brake pad separator tool, but I didn't grab the 4-point socket that I have to take off the tire. So thankfully, I still need to drive that thing to make sure there's no fault codes or whatnot. So I'm gonna jump into this thing, the Dodge Caliber, take it to my house, replace the rotors, replace the pads. We'll go from there. Again, messy, busy day. I have made it to my house on the Dodge Caliber. It runs really well. Want to get this opened and check the oil level again. I did check it, it did look fine, but since I'm here, I could do an oil change if needed. You tell me, guys, does it need an oil change? Because I vote no, I don't think it does. So, since I don't need an oil change on this, I don't have that, I do have the brakes and rotors. I'm gonna try to, ooh, bad lighting, straighten this out just a little bit. And then I'm gonna start on the rotors, brake pads, and replace the ABS sensors. Since I have them for both sides, I'm just gonna replace them on both sides. There's the hood. A lot better, given it's not perfect and it's not going to be, but a lot better. So I think I need to get a paint code and then get some touch-up paint, and then essentially it's just gonna have a few minor dents, if you will. So that's almost done. Let's get started on the rotors and brake pads. I'll probably start on this side because this is the side with the bad ABS sensor.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Making progress on the first one. This was a little bit difficult to take off because it was pretty rusted around the rim right here, but it's off. New brake pads are in. I took out the end connector of the ABS sensor. I'm gonna put this back on, tighten everything, and then start working on the ABS sensor since it goes up somewhere in here. Nearly at my last step. Oh, where is it? Right there. There's our connector for the ABS sensor. Oh, you guys probably won't see it really well with the light. The problem is I can't really reach in there because we have our exhaust and everything hot behind the engine. So I don't necessarily want to put this side back on. Start working on the other side, because with the tire on, it's going to be much more difficult to connect everything unless I feed everything through now, tighten everything down, and then once the engine is colder, disconnect the old one, connect the new one. I might have to do that. Beautiful. Tighten down, 10 millimeter, tighten down. So the only thing I will need to do is, well, I don't want to feed it through just yet because this one is still connected. I'm gonna try one more time to disconnect it with the motor being kind of hottish, and if I do, then in goes the new one, and putting this side back together and starting on the other side.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
And here is our driver's side. Nearly done. Putting the wheel tire on, tightening everything down. We're gonna go for a quick drive. Okay, now we get to pump the brakes. After new brake pads. We have change oil light, which I'm assuming they just didn't do a reset after they changed it, because you guys saw the oil's fresh. Yeah, so ABS light is still on. Curious if it'll go away after, you know, the tires kind of rotate a little bit. But we are about to go on our drive, and hopefully everything is great. Well, initially, brake pads are working. So we do have brakes, which is a good sign. Now, about that ABS light. So again, I'm very, oh, there it goes. Oh, that gets me every time. So I'll talk about that shortly, but as you guys can see, clean dash, new ABS sensors, and we are golden. So what I did want to mention is, there's probably a problem with this lock or something along those lines. Let me see if I could just disconnect it or something. Maybe from this side. Because you guys heard it makes a really scary sound. So either I need to get a new locking mechanism here, I don't know where, but I'm assuming this is why this trim piece is missing. It started to make that noise. They got really tired of it, pulled it apart, and then essentially traded the car in. But hopefully disconnecting that will prevent the noise, but we will work on that later. So yeah, literally the only thing, as long as no check engine light comes on, the only thing I plan on doing is the grille, touch up the trunk, detail, and this car is ready to rock and roll. So if you guys watched the video when I picked it up, to me the car was like the worst out of the four in the sense of like the way it drove, but honestly driving it today, it runs great. There's no rattles. So either the car was sitting at the auction for a long time and who knows, maybe like moving parts weren't lubricated or whatnot, but driving it today, I didn't notice the things I noticed previously, so that makes me feel a lot better. And we are that much closer with this one being done. I think I'm gonna pause the video here. I got a whole bunch of other stuff to do, including go to Mannheim to inspect vehicles. It's probably like 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock right now. I'm gonna have my phone on me. But like I said, today is a busy day for me. This week is actually crazy busy. My goal is to buy 10 cars using AFC, so using my flooring line, because they have a good promotion happening right now. $30 for 90-day flooring fee with promotional interest. So after 3 months, you know, say on a $10,000 purchase, I'll probably pay $200 in fees, which is very minimal for, you know, using bank's money. So I want to buy up as much inventory as I can. So we're gonna pause the video here. Again, subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet, and we will resume probably tomorrow.
The next day.
I am done driving the Dodge Caliber. As you guys can see, everything is aces. So I could, in theory, be done driving this car for now. And let's see, I've put 57 miles on it. So the other thing I'm actually going to do with this car, aside from the rear trunk trim and the front hood thing that I told you guys about, the grill, I'm going to have my mechanic do a transmission flush on it. Because once it warms up just a tiny bit, like I could feel it a little bit, and it's a CVT transmission, which honestly I'm not a huge fan of, but it's so hard to buy newer cars with a 4-cylinder engine without that CVT transmission. BMW uses it, Dodge uses it, Chrysler uses it, Subaru uses it, Toyota uses it, Lexus uses it. I mean, almost every manufacturer uses the CVT transmission. So I have to adapt. So I bought full synthetic CVT transmission fluid. Look at the sky behind me, blue, and the kind of darker clouds. It just rained a lot, like poured down and then stopped. Anyways, I got that ordered, and it will get delivered in a few days. It's actually coming from Amazon. Filter, gasket, and the fluid, because that was the cheapest option, even cheaper than my wholesaler. So in a few days that's going to be here. My mechanic is still working on the F-150 that I dropped off, so once he's done with that, we're going to do a swap-a-roo and continue on. So while the other 2 cars are more or less, well, 3 cars actually, out of my hands, Chevy's at the detailer. This one I'm not going to do the transmission fluid flush on my own. Mechanic will do that, but he's working on the F-150. The only car I have left is the Sentra, which actually also has a CVT transmission. So I will be driving that for the next day or 2 until my scanner will tell me that all onboard monitoring systems are complete with no faults. That means I could take the Dodge Caliber through DEQ, Nissan Sentra through the DEQ, and then just touch up whatever needs touching up and get these things sold.
2 hours later.
Hey, Chevy Silverado is ready to go. Just picked it up from the detailer. Yeah, I mean, it looks fairly clean, much cleaner than it was before. Not that it was a super dirty truck, but this one is ready to go, minus the sensor, which I will replace. I am kind of surprised. I only had a few people reach out about this thing. I mean, it's priced well. I don't know, maybe the fact that it's rear wheel drive is a turn off in the Pacific Northwest, but it's a fantastic truck. I'm still very happy with it. And my mechanic called. He said he replaced the sensor on the F-150 transmission, and the transmission was actually down fluid, which I checked when I bought the truck, because that was the first thing I wanted to check once it was weak into reverse, and everything was within norm. But who knows, he basically added, I think, 2 bottles, so two quarts roughly. I'll find out once I see him. But yeah, so after I drop this thing off, we are going to my mechanic to pick up the F-150, and hopefully the sensor, adding some transmission fluid, fix the issue, and I could raise the price on that truck and make more money. And this is the same tire I patched up. Oh, look at that, there's my patch. It's been almost a week and I haven't needed to add air. So again, successful patch. Leaving that truck there, and probably taking the Dodge Caliber to my mechanic to do the transmission flush. Yeah, so that's the plan. Got a few pieces of jerky in me. Let's take the Caliber and go get the F-150. I am a few minutes away from my mechanic, but I stopped by the DEQ station here and took this, ooh, it does that, man, and it startles me. I don't know if the camera will catch it, but it startles me every time, and I know it's there, but then I forget and it startles me. Anyways, I'm literally like 3-4 minutes away from my mechanic. Caliber passed DEQ, so technically I could sell it and the next owner can register it. That means there's no check engine light or any, you know, like emission related pending codes or whatnot. So we're gonna fix it up the best way we can, you know, what I've mentioned already a few times, and go from there. But next clip is gonna be F-150 that will hopefully make it to the lot. There it is, and there's that. Let's see if he left it open so I could drop the DQ slip in there. Oh, that's icky. All right, well, we're about to leave in this thing. Alrighty guys, moment of truth. Trying it in reverse. Nope. Well, I mean, there it goes now. So I guess it took it a second. So guys, at first glance, the whole output shaft sensor code fixing the issue is a myth, I tell you, just a myth. So here are my next options. One, continue to retail it, which I've had a few people reach out. So honestly, I've had $3,000 offers for this truck. I have it listed at $4 grand, and I'm $2,300 in it, maybe a little bit more. So $700 profit is not too bad, especially for something that has issues. I am okay just making 700 bucks. But I'm curious, if I take it elsewhere to some kind of auction, will I get more? So that's gonna be food for thought. But right now I'm heading to the lot. Hopefully it didn't make it worse, and hopefully at least moving forward I'll be able to get to the auction. So we'll see. I am a few miles away from the lot. Truck is running great and forward. So it shifts good, it stops good, there's no slipping. What the heck? Yeah, I don't know. I guess if someone just needs a truck that they could work around going in reverse, or at least like put it in neutral and let it roll backwards, good bargain. But again, I'm gonna think and decide what I want to do with it. Take it to Copart, take it to a public auction, or retail it. We'll see. Quick profit sounds good, or retailing it and get more money. You know, more money sounds better, but at the same time, it'll probably take a little bit longer. Anyways, that's for me to think about. Taking it to the lot, and I think the next car on my list to drive is the Sentra. I'll take it to the auction tomorrow, spend some time behind the wheel of that thing, see if it's ready to go through DEQ. If it is, then we're gonna finish it up, and it's another one essentially ready to go.
Several days later.
It is early morning. It is finally not raining. So that means I could finish up a whole bunch of projects. So working on the Nissan Sentra, I did, you know, touch up paint. Again, I told you guys it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be professional, but it looks a lot better than rust, because rust over white is not a good spec. So this way it looks a lot better. I've been driving it. I took it through DEQ. I don't know if I told you guys or not. And it passed with no issues. But on cold mornings, I hear the serpentine belt chirp. So this is actually the old belt, and you guys can see there's cracks throughout. It is brown-ish, which is a sign of dirt and everything else, so it's an old belt. Here's the new belt, already installed. All you need is a 14mm wrench to slide onto the tensioner pulley. And honestly, this might be the fastest serpentine belt job that I have ever done. I think with lifting up the car, taking off the tire, everything, probably 15-minute job, if that. I was pleasantly surprised how quick this took and how painless it was. So good job Nissan on that front. So I'm gonna put everything back together, and essentially this car is ready to go to detail, get cleaned up, and it's ready to go.
1 week later.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been, I don't know, maybe a week or so. I'm gonna end the video here. As you guys can see, this vehicle is about to get photographed and listed for sale. Pretty much touched up and did everything I'm gonna do with it. That's why it's being listed for sale. It passed DEQ with no issues. There's no check engine lights. I did get a nice key made for it, so it's not just this one. So now I have two like metal keys, and then this one, keyless entry works, keyless start works. The car runs great, so I'm gonna photograph and get it listed for sale. I did not sell anything that I wanted to. Basically, I have so many cars that I've been kind of focused on getting them already. The Ford truck, I actually tried to run it through Copart 2 weeks, and that was unsuccessful, so I have that. Chevy, you know, there's some interest here and there, but again, nothing crazy. The Dodge Caliber, I have all the parts ordered that are needed. I'm actually just waiting for the back trim piece, and then essentially that one's ready to go. So for this video, this is gonna be it. Next video, hopefully we'll just kind of, maybe I'll try to do a collective, because I told you guys how much I purchased these cars for, and maybe once all of them are sold, we could run through numbers and tell you guys how much money I made on all 4. So thank you for watching. If you are interested in seeing something like that, drop a comment in the comment section below. Consider subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate you guys' support, and I'll see you guys in another video.